In this part, we are going to create an AuthProvider, so later all the components can note whether the user is logged in or not. So under the root folder, we create a file called auth.js, and then we are going to create the useContext, and then we have to import the create context from React, and maybe we type the RAFC first. So we copy the create context from React, and we also have to use the useEffect, so we also import at this time. And then we have to use export constant, and then we change this to AuthProvider, and we delete this one. And then we have to pass the children so it can wrap the components. And then here we use the useEffect, and then we set constant auth is equal to get auth, and then we import the get auth from the Firebase auth. So we import the get auth from Firebase auth, and then we going to return the auth.on token ID token change, and we are going to check the user if exists or not. So we use async user, and then if no user, we will console log no user, and then return. And then otherwise, we will type constant token is equal to await user dot get ID token, and then we will try to log the token and also the user. So we type token, and then we going to duplicate this and we change this to user. And then after the useEffect, we type return, and then AuthProvider useContext dot provider, and then the value is equal to empty. But later we will pass the current user information at this place, so we leave these values here, and then we pass the children. So all the components will be placed inside the children. And at last, we are going to export another thing, which is useOf. And we import the useContext from React. So we already created an AuthProvider, so we can back to the underscore app.js. So we go back to underscore app.js, and instead of just return the components, we are going to use the AuthProvider to wrap the components, so all the components will know the user information. So we import the AuthProvider from the auth.js. So we save it. Now we go to the developer console, and then it already refreshed, and you can see there is no user at the console, so which means it already can check whether it has user or not.